BOMAQ Talk. We're in the second hour of BOMAQ Talk on this Friday, second Friday in March. And we are talking about Give to Gain, the new currency of creative leadership. And in the first hour, we kind of went through the great wealth transfer, what that is, who are the players in that and all the opportunities available in that transition, whether startups taking the place of existing businesses, closing, or mergers and acquisitions, sales of businesses that are transferring hands and the services um, uh, involved with change, that management change, right? And so lots of opportunity there. And with this current uh, climate in terms of industry, markets, and disruption, um, it's a prime if you are offering management consulting services or organizational development services. Those are that this era is a high demand era for those services. And so just looking to capture that and take advantage of that. And speaking of capture, we're going to shift into capture, right? So this particular segment, we're going to shift a little bit into the commodity trap of AI technology, and so we'll be kind of addressing um, how AI can generate infinite information, right? We talk about the knowledge that it generates, right? It super exceeds our brain capacity, our current brain capacity, right? And so, but it has zero perspective. And so there is some limitations that AI has in its nature outside what you give it, the guardrails that you give it and the proprietary information that you feed it. Um, it still has um, you give it perspective, it has zero perspective, right? And so, um, uh, the mindful manager, one of the aspects of that, or I guess one of the conversational pieces that we can talk about that, and I said CAPTCHA, we're going to talk about the CAPTCHA. A mindful manager uses PM for tech projects and CM, change management, uses project management for tech projects and change management for charting people, human capital, through that change, and knowing when to use each strategic management technique, right? And so we're going to talk about CAPTCHA because we have a unique CAPTCHA that we've utilized to filter people into the business relationship manager position or the independent sales representative position. We use a CAPTCHA to to filter folks through that. And it's interesting that we like problem solving, so we got a lot of puzzles and pieces, and we are alive. We are not live today. We are pre-recorded today because the gals booked busy and looking for those billables. In all seriousness, we have a hackathon that starts today. We want to be there present front and center when they start. We have signed on as a mentor, and we will be presenting on Saturday at the hackathon. Then there's another hackathon that has to do with gaming. So our Stradalurian game will be developing that um, within that hackathon. This hackathon will be kind of charting through how we compose Calm Core 8. If you haven't heard, Calm Core 8 has won a national um, uh, Vibe Code award. Um, and um, we are still working on that final that the product to bring to market to the public so that you'll be able to utilize it. It will be an internal tool first. So as always, all of our tools start internally. We're utilizing it, checking it out, seeing that it works before we roll it out. That we've done that with every service or product that we had. Um, uh, and this product will follow that same um, line of path to market, the go to market. So, um, but in any case, yes, Concord 8 is getting some traction, getting some visibility. And so we'll be um, um, talking about that and presenting a guide for utilizing vibe codes on Saturday through that hackathon. And then we'll actually enter one, or I believe we're going to enter one. I'll have to check that. Um, I think it starts this weekend. If not, I think it starts on Wednesday. But we'll be composing that. And these are great for us because it forces us into a uh, a time frame, where our uh, goals are measurable, you know, and they are attainable within a period of time. And we're able to get there fast with a little bit of pressure. My undergrad is in architecture, so I'm used to the charrette culture where you do these design charrettes really fast to solve a problem in some of these pressure situations. So we had the aptitude for that. Same thing with engineering, uh, building robots and all that kind of stuff, and robot competitions and little tech projects and stuff like that. So yeah, um, that's happening, overlapping, and so we're working it out because we got so much to talk about. We got so much to talk about, so much to share, and we want to just kind of keep that talk going, right? So pre-recorded today. That's the reason why. You can still uh, reach out to us if this is the day of all days that you were trying to connect for some reason. You still could do that. You can still do that. I will be available. Um, you still can send a chat message, AI, or regular chat, or within any of the platforms or whatever to reach us. So if this was your day of all days, then we got you. We got you. We feel you. We got you. All right. So let's get into it. This particular segment going to shift a little bit different than the previous. We're going to talk about that commodity trap and how AI, the nature of AI, how it generates infinite information, but zero perspective, right? And so the mindful manager uses PM for project management for tech projects and change management for people knowing and knows when to use and getting an aptitude, for knowing when to use which strategy for different problem solving situations, right? And so it's not always easy. It's not always easy. So you might need a CAPTCHA like we use for filtering through applications for business relationship manager, independent sales rep. CAPTCHA stands for Completely Automated Public Turing Tests to tell computers and humans apart, right? And so that's what it's designed for. It's a security measure that uses distorted text or image-based puzzles to prevent automated bots from spamming or abusing websites, right? So users have to solve, and we've all did them, and you know I I could be like just not paying attention and I'll get some wrong. I'm like, I'm a human. I promise I'm a human, right? And so, but you saw these typing characters and specific images, or um, now they have it where you kind of rotate something. They're reinventing them over and over again. As the technology gets smarter, the captchas get more difficult and more um, time consuming. You know, I know that's why we stopped. We were going to make a Twitter page. I think it was a Twitter page for Gamma Learning, and the captcha for creating that, I guess it's not Twitter page, X page. It's X now since they got acquired. But we were going to create an X page for Gamma Learning in some of the divisions that don't have a Twitter page. But the captcha was so we couldn't get we're human and we couldn't get past the captcha. We were like, this thing is too long. We don't understand it. We don't know what's going on. So so yeah, some of those pages were okay, yeah, it's not that deep. We got the LinkedIn page, it's okay. But yeah, how to solve those, the captures, sometimes they're text-based, and so they may have distorted letters. These are more of the easier ones, right? Where you may have to just check the box, I'm not a robot, or you have to click on the images, whichever ones they say, these are, click on the bicycles, or click on the cars, or click on you know, um, the traffic lights. Or they have distorted letters or numbers, and you have to drink the field. Okay, those are the first, those are the easy ones. But now they have a lot more difficult ones where you have to roll something around and um, finish a completed picture, or um, you have to identify what row and what column a particular image was in. So they're getting more, more intricate as technology advances. So are the captions. They're advancing as well, right? So they can be audio based as well. And sometimes I've done those to get past um, those lazy moments where I'm just not getting the capture right. Right. And so they they can have distorted or overlapping letters. Again, image recognition, or like math, logic puzzles, like simple questions and stuff like that. And so uh, they can be frustrating, time consuming, right? And so and sometimes it doesn't prove that, like I said, that whether you're human or not, because I've gotten, if you get frustrated or you don't have the time, but you're a human, it doesn't de deter. Um, it's not factual that that person was or was not a human because they weren't able to complete that task. They may have just got frustrated, didn't have the time to do it, right? And so, um, yeah, as AI improves and they're able to solve these challenges, we have uh, the ability now to be able to fill out applications or fill out items without, having an agent do that. Well, there may be some companies who don't want that. They don't want that happening. Um, they're okay with AI filtering out all the people that they may not want to have to take part in the opportunity, but they don't want the candidates actually using it for their benefit. And so it's a funny dynamic now, to bring this to a level playing field in different areas, where now you have this capacity available to you. COM Core, and just for an example, COM Core 8, um, just building out COM Core 8, I just in a short 2 years ago, quotes of 10 to 20,000. even to redesign my website. Um, uh, you know, 5,000, 10,000 suggestions by maybe venture capitalists or incubators and all those types of things into quotes. And today, $0 done. It's just like, wow. I mean, it just leveled this technology has disrupted, basically just leveled the playing field. The only barrier is your capacity to learn, to be able to utilize it, and the time you have to dedicate to it, right? And so, yeah. So CAPTCHAs um, is one way to this if you're having problems in that areas for whatever reason, the way that you are um, structure in your organization. Capture is the one way, and that's what it's designed for, is to tell computers and humans apart if you can't do that. And that's why I don't want my AI to talk like me. They're like, oh, you need AI to talk like you know, AI can talk like it talks. And I talk like I'm talking with my Midwest twang, That way you know it's me. You'll know me, when it's AI. I don't need AI to talk like me. I don't. I want AI to just do or carry out the task that I give it. And as long as it conveys the message, I needed to convey the message and to articulate messages that it's impactful and that are impactful and that move the needle in the areas to which we want it to, then I don't care what it sounds. I don't care what AI sounds like. That's just us. Where we are delivering a service or in terms of brand and those type of things, yeah. Yeah, I'm particular about what it says and how it says it to make sure that it's conveying um, the vision and the mission and all those things and correctly. Um, and so in those areas, we have vetted proprietary information to get the get the output that we need and that we want. Um, but yeah. Okay, so I want to look at our briefly. Let's stop this share and look at our um capture. I want to look at our captures really quick. And this is the one that I indicated um, that we created. And it is asking the question, what letters are a digital avatar? So in our social media feeds, we have avatars that we use for each one of the divisions. So um, it's asking you to identify these. And this is some of the problem solving activities that we give a business relationship manager or independent um, sales rep, because they have to be able to recognize our brand and to convey our brand um, in the field, right, into a client and in an industry. So um, then it goes through, you know, these avatars. So this CAPTCHA was created maybe a couple years back, maybe a couple years back, maybe even longer. It might even been before the pandemic. Um, but the avatars are still the same. Um, you know, this is our avatar for BOMAQ Multimedia now. Um, it's funny to see it on here because we didn't make it our um, like a logo, part of the logo till like a year ago or something, a year or 2 years ago, something like that. So it's funny that it's on here. And then this is one for Global Alliance, right? And so on here you have RVY, right, or humans. But 412 investment, that's a logo for the business management. Smart Biz Facts is a service mark. It's a service mark. So that's for the business brokerage. When a business is selling, we package us the package that we put together that becomes part of your assets for sale is the Smart Biz Facts. It's a package. It's a sales package um, of documents, historical business documents, right? And so this is a service mark, and 10 core is a service mark for the 10 core assessments and the 10 core service. That's our service mark there. And then Hotel Bank Unlimited is a logo. And this Hotel Bank Unlimited and 412 Investments, those logos was created at the same time, or during the same year. 20, I want to say 2012 or 2011. Might even been earlier than that, a year earlier than that, 2010 maybe. Um, Out of Weatherford, Oklahoma. We hired a student. We were part of a program where we were able to hire students at the university. Um, they had a whole office on campus. The students had offices there, and they could, for their work study programs or through this program, um, work for uh, small businesses within the region who signed up. And so uh, we hired students through that program. Um, uh, we hired a graphic student. They helped us work through this logo. Still keep in contact with those students as well. And so yeah, Hotel Bank Unlimited. We did. This is just one logo of several that we did in that time period, and variations. We did a couple of variations of both of these, but both of these were designed, still using them, still impactful, still um, speak to the vision and mission that we have for those divisions. So yeah, these two are logos. These are service marks. That's the avatar. And of course, the other pictures of humans. And so the next question is, which letters are divisional logos? Because that's important to knowing which products, which service and products go where. Because it can be a little bit, you know, daunting at first. So UT squared is a logo. Urbanetectonics LLC is a logo. Gamma Learning is a logo. And Gamma Learning is our educational division that's dedicated to educational consulting. Our Universal Language of Management, Universal, the Universal Language of Management series comes out of Gamma Learning. You'll see Gamma Learning in the cover page as um, uh, the distributor. And that the first books came out 2017. but we've been using Gamma Learning for educational output. Um, mm, I want to say even before 2010, maybe. Um, I'll have to look at that. But we've been doing teaching, different types of teaching um, for a while. Um, but I know Gamma Learning is started as a publisher and distributing started in 2016, 2017. But some of the classes like on Udemy um, that has now over 12,000 students internationally that have taken our course. All that platform also started in 2016, 2017 in that era. But the acumen of teaching, when we started teaching in higher education, maybe in 2006, 2007, and our, hiring other teachers and all those types of things as interim director. Um, but our confidence in teaching, being able to, distribute learning platforms and learning materials stems from that. So, um, Gamma Learning, Educational Consulting, Educational Division, Urbanetectonics is the parent company. Um, um, all other divisions are registered under that parent. And then UT Squared Design International is our design management division. Um, and uh, if it deals with anything that has to do with design or branding or uh, different uh, output, design output, it's coming out of UT Square Design International. Um, all things suave, right? And then this is our logo from Startup Bootcamp. I have a niece who does graphic design. She uh, draws really well. And she does a lot of imprint work too that you've seen in UT Square Design International. How we've done surface pattern on products and stuff like that. She does that as well on her own and has a business for that. But she designed this Startup Bootcamp uh, logo, the graphics for that. So this is a service mark. R is the service mark. And K um, is a avatar, and then I don't know what this is. I don't know what O is. It's a zinger. It's bazinga. Bazinga. All right, so um, let's move on. And which letters are a service mark? Okay. Oh, yeah, that's like in there. Okay, so um, this looks like it's the same. I think we covered this. It's the same slide as the first one, except it asked a different question, and I think we kind of answered this. And then, of course, which letters are human beings? So that's our CAPTCHA. Oh, wait. This one has, hold on, pause, pause. Let's go back. This one has a couple more in there that we didn't discuss. Okay, yeah. All right, so I can't move this, can I? No, I can't move it. Okay, so behind here is Cube Engineered Solutions logo. So Cube Engineered Solutions, I could tell by this top that that's Cube Engineers. And then this used to be the logo for um, Mac Productions, but Mac Productions is now BOMAQ Multimedia, and it has a different logo. And then this is um, we don't use this avatar, um, this symbol, so that's another bazinga. And then the BOMAQ companies, that's the logo for the BOMAQ companies and BOMAQ Construction. This is the logo for BOMAQ Construction. And then this is the avatar for Urbanetectonics, as you can see here. Um, so this is an avatar, logo, previous logo, and then current. This is the current logo for Cube Engineering Solutions. Yeah. So yeah, some service marks, some logos, and then some avatars. Lots, all of it is graphics, but they are utilized in different ways and to convey different things. And it's pertinent for a business relationship manager or a independent sales representative to be able to identify those, each one of those, and appropriately apply them to know where to find them. Because if they are usually, if you're a business relationship manager or if you are an independent sales representative, you will be placed in an industry to which you are familiar with. So you'll be familiar with the industry, but then getting familiar with our services and products in that industry and what their avatars, their logos, and their service marks are is, where each individual will have to be trained. And so that's our CAPTCHA, our CAPTCHA. And we have and we are creating more of those in different ways. So some of the episodic content that we have on TikTok that we've have developed for TikTok and for YouTube, the YouTube Shorts, are types of CAPTCHA. They are training tools. So you um, can, in a fun way, go through some of the case studies, go through some of the project teams for industry, like our one puzzle piece goes through a project team where you have to name some of the project teams. You need to name the process, some of the processes in the process map. Um, some of them go through uh, different jargon for the field. So they're training activities to kind of normalize the kind of work that needs to be done or is done in it on a consulting contract. For those that may be getting introduced to the industry, to that industry way of doing things, or the industry altogether. And so, yeah, we have little captchas in there, and that there's some ways that you can kind of chart where people are and meet them where they are. As they're transitioning, talking about the great wealth transfer. Well, these are different learning styles, as we come into up to generations that are mobile first, now AI first, and first, second generation, first generation, second generation business owners. They're going to be different learning styles and different styles of management, management styles, different management styles as well. Um, so, um, yeah, remember CAPTCHA. See if you can figure out create some of your own. Use that as a tool um, to telling computers and humans apart, and even testing humans uh, on knowledge management and their ability to utilize computers and technology as a tool, right? So the different ways that you can use captures. All right, and there's a couple of ways that we've done. All right, so um, let's shift to a different question, different subject, along the same topic. Um, um, AI, in the marketplace, is AI a competitor or the ultimate creative collaborator, right? So, you know, uh, you know, we kind of feel like it could be both. you know, as we are in the marketplace, um, uh, in an era where artificial intelligence handles the heavy lifting, speed and efficiency are no longer the primary competitive advantages, right? Instead, new currency has emerged: human creativity, empathy, and collaborative leadership, right? And so this is the new currency. If we the this heavy lifting, speed and efficiency is no longer a competitive edge now because AI is just so fast. And anybody who has the capacity to pay for the speed of it can compete. And so uh, we are moving away from traditional top-down command and control leadership toward a model that thrives on collaboration, mentorship, and generosity, giving of our human insights to gain exponential results, right? So here the giving, we're talking about giving our human insights to gain, right? In the results. And this is also a play on the silver tsunami too, because even though, of the 6 million, 5 million businesses may close, may or may not close, those individuals will still be in society somewhere, and bringing them on as advisory members or bringing them on as board members or tapping into their expertise is still a great opportunity to maximize that human insight, and a gain for your business. So even if you're decide to start up a business and a business in your same industry is closing out, you may be able to bring that individual on as an advisor within your company or in some capacity, collaborate with them so that that human insight that they have and experience or whatever doesn't go to waste. You're able to bring that on as an asset to what you're building and create that longevity piece, right? So past that fifth, eighth year. And so we're redefining, give to gain in so many different ways. There's so many ways to look at this. It's so exciting. It's so exciting, so exciting because so many ways to look at this particular topic. And so redefining give to gain, getting how to share knowledge, foster this collaboration, and build a culture where human intuition amplifies AI efficiency, right? Human intuition. This is that human to AI play. And then the new creative currency then becomes the empathy, that storytelling. Storytelling has become so popular in marketing now because that emotional to resonate with someone emotionally in a very intelligent way is now more valuable than just raw data generation. So that raw data, the empirical data, becomes the underplay, the foundation that makes all the insight valid. But then you still have to connect to a human to get the purchase. um, we think, because if your AI agents are buying on your behalf and that you've got them programmed to think like you, it's we're not going to go down that rabbit hole, but yeah, let's just say the storytelling is still for humans. Storytelling is still for humans and resonating with them emotionally, right? Because we know AI does not have any emotion. You program it for program its perspective. So its perspective should mimic um, someone or organization or um, yeah, someone or an organization, or have the guardrails to which you put it there, right? And so um, AI as a partner, not a crutch, how to guide AI to solve complex problems while preserving the human soul in your creative output, right? And so the how to uniquely, do that. Uh, future-ready leadership strategies to pivot from being a manager to a facilitator of dynamic AI-enabled creative teams. So, uh, role definition as to how that pivot happens and what that pivot looks like, right? And so, um, within our organization, we're still calling it a mindful manager. You you you're either managing tech or you're managing humans, and uh, applying uh, that strategy, appropriate strategy to each. Um, we're calling is a mindful activity, right? Um, so blending technology with human ingenuity to build a more innovative and human-centric future. So that's what we're talking about here, that blend. And so our recent win in SaaS, right? So software as a service for the ComCore 8 um, uh, from Cube Engineered Solution, our international award, kind of explores how um, has us exploring how we might shift this build for longevity, right? So AI for us, like I said, is the competitor. In this particular situation, AI is the competitor because and it also is the collaborator. It collaborates. We earlier expressed how we wouldn't have been able to chart that path um, to a build with zero cost without AI. It's not happening without AI. So it's definitely a collaborator. But at the same time, the product that we created, SaaS, according to um, industry, uh, will is a challenger to SaaS. SaaS could go away. Software as a service can actually be no longer needed because of AI, right? And so I got a newsletter, Revenue Brew, this week, asked this question or had this conversation or made these statements and question. The prevailing theory behind the sell-off seems to be that sophisticated workplace agents, as well as new coding tools from um, uh, the larger LLMs, could make this sort of business software model, software as a service, obsolete. If an IT team can easily vibe code internal software, like we did, or assign tags to role-specific plugins within something like uh, Claude Cowork, do they still need expensive pay-per-seat platform subscriptions, right? So we just went to a subscription model, and happy about the subscription model. The subscription, the subscription model is not just for the software as a service. It's actually for all our services and products because we have a um, uh, a dozen industries to which we serve, managed services and consulting services. Each industry has a pricing schedule and structure that is specific to that industry. Well, that's a lot of variation. The way we are um, handling that variation is by doing a subscription model across the board, right? So that we're able to integrate um, uh, across the consulting services as well as some of the managed services. So um, our subscription model isn't um, typical typical to the traditional. So I think we're still competitive there. Um, in the way that ComCore 8 will evolve, uh, it will it will make the shift. It will make the change, um, or make the cut. In this change that we're talking about. I also in my LinkedIn feed, I read through or listened to. There was Robert Smith from Vista Equity Partners posted in LinkedIn discussing how SaaS would change. He noted agentic technology will reshape enterprise SaaS, and these are some of the ways how. Um, it's shifting from passive tools operated by humans to autonomous partners that execute complete business goals. Instead of users navigating dashboards to perform tasks, AI agents will interact directly with systems via APIs to plan, decide, and act on the user's behalf. The core structural impacts are the interaction shift. The primary user experience is moving from graphical user interfaces to agentic front ends and natural language outcome interfaces, right? And so um, 1/3 of user experiences will shift from native apps to these agentic or agent-driven layers. The economic transformation, the traditional seat-based per user pricing model is being disrupted because agents replace human manual labor. Enterprises are shifting towards outcome-based pricing, where customers pay for completed tasks such as resolved tickets or closed books rather than software access. Okay, so yeah, that the um our subscription model is value based, and it has an outcome expectation element to it. So I think we're good there. We may have to do some little tweaking, but I think we're good there. But this is an interesting shift as well, just for the subscription model. And then the third structural impact, core structural impact for SaaS is this three-layer stack, the architectural rebundling, the the systems of record, the data spine, agent operating systems, the middle tier, and then the outcome interfaces, the top layer, translating human requests into agent actions. And I'll have to dig a little deeper into what those are as we're kind of building. Right now, our Concord 8 um, doesn't have the database. It doesn't have the data spine, but we're getting into that part. And so um, as we chart towards that, we'll talk a little bit more about that because we'll have something to bring, something to bring to that table. Yeah, um, so functional evolution by department, customer service, agents are moving beyond basic chatbots to handle end-to-end case management, including refunds, document validations, and those types of things. 80% of customer problems will be solved, they predict will be solved by agents. Sales and marketing, autonomous sales development representatives now identify leads and perform these hyper-personalized outreach without human prompts. Finance and risk, agentic, um, agentic systems autonomously detect fraud, forecast cash needs, and recommend reallocation across accounts, reducing risk events up to 60% in some of the pilot environments. Software development. In the software delivery life cycle, agents are taking over code generation, automated testing, proactive performance optimization, manual oversight, increasing the release speed. And so we are experiencing some of that. Strategic challenges, the invisible plumbing risks, SaaS companies that fail to build native agentic capabilities risk becoming headless SaaS, invisible backends used by third-party agents who own the valuable user relationship. Context craft. The context graph. New competitive moats are shifting from feature lists to context graphs, living records of agent decision traces that explain not just what happened, but why. And those are really detailed to look through. What it did, why it did it, how it did it. All those can be three different types of data coming at you to kind of look through. Security and governance. Agents increase the attack surface, requiring robust new frameworks for visually governed workflows and strict policy aware automation to maintain enterprise trust. So this is a mouthful. This is a mouthful. This is a mouthful to kind of go through. But software as a service, we have business process as a service, Cube engineered solutions. Primary focus is business process outsourcing and business process as a service, and software as a service as some of the services and products evolve, um, be becoming an app or becoming um, technology empowered in some way. um, that will happen. It may be automated. Um, it may become an app, may become software as a service. It may become agentic in some way. And so we're kind of plowing through that to see situation by situation in our process, in our workflows, um, what would be the best fit, would be the best fit in those areas. But yeah, it's great insight, right? So great insight, great feedback for what's going on so that we can kind of chart through those, being in the early adoption of all this, being able to chart COM Core 8 in the direction we would like to take all 10 core, right? Because COM Core 8 is one of 10, right? So one of 10. So the platform that we're building for COM Core 8 is just one of 10 in that particular group that we'll be building. COM Core 8 is part of the 10 core assessment or the 10 core service. That's just one group. We have COM workflow, we have COM design, COM construction, we have COM facilities. And so, yeah, we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do, and we are excited to be able to chart that work with these new tools, right? So it is a collaborator, but we want to position ourselves within the market, where we are not being um, made obsolete by the tool that we're collaborating with. And that is going to be a hard line to chart. Yeah, because it's just disrupting every industry, right? And so we will find our position, we will find our place, and evolved into longevity into the next decade. So fun stuff. That is our time. Wow, it's went really fast. Um, uh, yeah. So BOMAQtalk 2026. We talk about give the game the new currency of creative leadership. Um, love your feedback on this. Um, any questions, comments, agree, disagree. um, uh, and check out COM Core 8. We have you can we'll post the all the links. We got a link tree for Cube Engineered Solutions now with all of the information on COM Core 8. You can see it at the main website. But it is in demo mode. And it's not quite beta, but it's a demo mode, so you can check it out and test it out as we kind of adding things onto it bit by bit. Um, but this is our time. This is our time for today. It's been a great Friday. Enjoy. Remember to woo-saw this weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Friday and your weekend, and we will connect again on next Friday. Give the gang the new currency of creative leadership. BOMAQtalk 2026. Signing out.